He has a new live project out as we speak. It's called Made for More. My guest is Josh Baldwin.
What else with Corey, man? This guy can podcast like nobody can. What else with Corey, man? You will look deep inside of yourself and feel something you've never felt when he asks what else with Corey, man.
I like everything about what I'm seeing right here. Thank the Lord for Zoom. You got this awesome Baldwin hat.
Oh.
Is that your merch?
It is my merch, but I was very strategic, and these are my favorite golf hats, Imperial golf hats. And I was like, I want a golf hat with my last name on it, and then I'll just sell it as merch and also make it look like the Marlboro logo.
I was going to say that, but I didn't know if I was treading on thin water there.
No, I mean, that's what we did. It was kind of a joke, and then we did it, and I took it on tour with Ann Wilson, and people loved it. And this one lady, she was like, do you know that this looks like, and I was like, what does it look like, ma'am? You tell me. She wouldn't say it out loud.
Guard your heart before you whip that wicked tongue of yours, dragon. Let's jump into this real quick, and I'm looking over your shoulder, and I did see those albums in an Instagram post. Tunnel of Love, Bruce Springsteen, which I love. I see a Tom Petty up there. I'm not familiar with Top Right.
Top right here. That is Ryan Adams.
Ryan Adams.
Ryan Adams. Kind of been canceled.
You have a live album up there from Johnny Cash. Did that have any influence on your new live album?
I mean, I didn't do my new live album in a prison, but that would have been cooler. I mean, I don't know if it would have been cooler, but it would have been very Christian artist of me nowadays, though, to go into a prison like Johnny. Yeah, I mean, totally. I do love like that. And I feel like a lot of live albums back in the day were a little rowdier than live albums now. And I guess because it's worship, and it's like, that's what it is live. You know, when you're leading worship Sunday morning or anytime, it's live. So it's like, we're so good at the live stuff, like making it sound awesome. There was a sense of like with the new album that I still think it sounds great, but we did it in a place that's like, you wouldn't necessarily want to go in there and cut like a really amazing sounding album. I mean, it wasn't ideal. And I was like, I don't care. I wanted it to feel a little rowdy, and probably, something like that.
Before we get too deep we're ready to go. I can feel you're ready to go. I'm ready to go.
We're revving it up. I'm ready. Listen, once I click go, then let's go. It's all, you can keep any of this.
My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love.
Josh Baldwin, welcome to the podcast. This is your third time on this podcast.
That's right. It is. I forgot about the very first time, but I was thinking that when me and David came on, that was the second. I forgot. We did another one before that.
Yeah. You had shown me this giant album poster of your head, which was fantastic.
It's on the other side of that closet in there.
Okay.
It's like, again, I just keep it in there. I do have my face up there.
I do see that. I don't want to lose this idea, because you talked about it would be very Christian of you to do a live album in a jail. So let's flip it upside down a little bit, but stay with the idea. Let's do it at after-school detention.
That would show whether or not you really were a good worship leader. If you could get those kids to like join in and enter in with you.
Just six bullies. They've been in there for a year. They're all Bender from Breakfast Club. And it's like, if I can get these six,
I can just win these six bullies over. I could change the rest of this school.
Yeah. About third song in, who wants a hat?
Yeah, come on. Put that cigarette down. Put this hat on.
Did any songs on the new live album get played multiple times to nail it, or did you have in your mind, Josh, this is going to be a one and done album?
No, yeah, no, they all. Now we did that night. It was all just one take. I did them all one time. We had gone into the studio. Well, no, the night before, we set up everything in the venue where we did it, just right down the road from my house. And we went through all the songs that night, and they tracked it just in case, like the next night we messed up. But there was no crowd there, so it was just us and the band. But it was more of a rehearsal that they said we'll track it, and I think that was like to make us feel okay about the next night and not as much pressure. But everything ended up being that night, just the one take throughout the whole thing. So,
And you loved it?
I loved it. I mean, really, I did. I know I'm kind of supposed to say that, and why would I say that I didn't? But looking back, I don't think there was anything. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that I would have done different. I don't know that there's anything like another take would have been.
There wasn't a moment when you said, that was good, but I feel like we need to do it one more time with this crowd. You didn't have to do that.
Well, and I'm not that guy either. I'm like, I'll just do the bare minimum. For better or worse. I try really hard to nail it that one time because I don't want to keep doing this. Like, I don't like the stress of it. So I'm just like, nah, that's good enough for me. I think the one thing I would change, and this is kind of a little insider. I have a guitar strap that my friend made for me like 20 years ago, 25 years ago almost. Leather, and then it's got a little dove right here on the shoulder of the strap. And it kind of came from like this prophetic word that was given years ago that this guy saw a songbird on my shoulder. And so my friend made me a strap. And so it's the only guitar strap I really ever used for like the last 20 years. And it fits like perfectly my guitar. Anyway, the dove's right here. There's no other bird anywhere on it. It's just a strap. The dove's right here on my shoulder. And I don't ever put it on backward. It's just right there. Well, the night of the recording, one of the guitar tech guys put strap on my guitar for me, and it was just sitting there. So when I go up there, the first song I play is electric. I play electric guitar. It's a different strap. I'm playing that. I put it down. I pick my acoustic up, and then the rest of the songs I'm playing acoustic. I put my guitar on, and I don't think about it at all. Just my strap's already on, so I put it on through the whole night. 2 days later, I get pictures back from that night. One of the pictures is from behind me, and just on my back, the dove is like back here on my back because the guitar strap was put on backwards and I didn't check and see. So, but here's the funny thing. So I mean, no one's going to know that except for me. They're just going to think like, oh, cool, there's a dove on the back of that guitar strap on his back. But the funny thing is the night before when we did do the record, like we went through the songs before the crowd, the camera guys actually filmed some too because they wanted some close-up shots of me that they wouldn't be able to get the night before with the crowd there, all that. That night, I put my strap on, and so the dove is where it's supposed to be on my shoulder. But on the night of the actual recording, it's not. So they had to be very strategic as to which close-up shots they used because I would point and be like, guys, you went straight from a shot from the actual night to a shot from the night before, and the dove's like changing, and that's the only thing I would do different about that night. I would make sure that I put the strap on correct, but that's very nitpicky, and most people will probably never know, even watching the videos.
Well, now we're going to have to. We're going to go to Instagram as soon as we're done.
Check it out,
and I'm going to start going through every one of those and going night before, night of, night before, night of. So how much rehearsal just goes into a live album? You had the songs, you've got them penned, they're good, you got your players that you've chosen. How many run-throughs?
The great thing is the band was mostly made up of guys that play with me all the time. And so for a handful of these songs, like 4 or 5 of these songs, I had written like a couple years before and already been leading some of them and playing them when I travel and they at least knew the songs. And so, and there was only 3 or 4 that were brand new and that we never played. So we went into a studio here in Franklin, Tennessee for 2 days, like it was Thursday and Friday, and worked through arrangements and just spent the days in the studio and just kind of like, it was cool because we got to just play the songs together live there and like work through, okay, this is how we want to. And I had a producer, Kyle Lee, who's amazing, but he's also great at just I mean, he's definitely like the boss, and we all listen to him. But he also, I mean, the band is full of. There's 2 or 3 guys in there that are producers themselves that are in the band, and so, and they play. We've all played together for years, so he was great at like listening to everybody's opinions and creative ideas. So we just took 2 days, and there's only 8 songs, which made it fun because we didn't feel the stress of like, oh, this is like 12 songs, we got to nail down all, you know. So it was 2 days of that, and then that was a Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday we stayed home. We listened to the recordings of what we did the 2 days before, and then Monday night we had the rehearsal. Tuesday night was the real thing, and it was just I was actually like, I think I was just blown away at how it came together so fast and effort. It didn't feel like hard work, you know. It just felt fun, and I think a lot of that too is because it was with all my best friends. I mean, it was.
I love that.
Kind of a dream. So
I have been a part of definitely 2 live album recordings since I've been in this industry, and I'm going to confess something right now. I don't know if you've had a problem with when you invite people to your live recordings. Is I try to clap endlessly, so like I can, you know, like, and it starts to die down, and I kind of get a little bit, so I can either confirm nor deny on a Matt Redman record that I may have. It's like, why are you still clapping?
Just so you can hear yourself.
So I can hear myself.
Yeah, and later when you listen back, like, that's me.
There I am. I mean, it's no backwards, upside down dove, but it's extended clap.
Right.
You know.
No, you could definitely hear every once in a while. Yeah, you hear like an excited woman, you know, somewhere in like, whoa, you know, in the distance. And it's like cool because sometimes, you know, you want that because you want it to feel like, yeah, there was energy in the room. And then after a while, it's like, okay, all right, we're good.
When you were younger, when you're starting to explore music for the first time, can you pinpoint a song or an artist that you remember hearing, Josh, and you're like, wow, I like this, and I like it a lot?
Oh, yeah. I remember because growing up, in the 80s and 90s, I wasn't allowed to listen to well, you know what? I say I wasn't allowed to listen to music that wasn't Christian music, which I guess we call that, what do we call that? Secular music, which always feels funny.
That's the language.
But I don't think I was like banned from it. I felt like I was, I think. Because, I mean, I listened to, Steve Kurtz Chapman's like a massive influence in my life, and the reason I wanted to like play acoustic guitar and write songs. And then I think the music that like, I had started leading worship in high school, and then the band that I heard and was like, oh my gosh, because I thought I led worship in high school, but I kind of did it. I loved it, but also it was like my dad led worship too, and it didn't feel cool to me. You know, I didn't feel uncool, but it didn't feel like I wasn't trying to write songs. I was just like regurgitating whatever I heard. I think when I heard Delirious, the Cutting Edge album, and then the Live and in the Can, that was like, oh my goodness. Oh, like I can do that. Like that's what we're able to do. Like,
yeah,
I can write songs like that, and it's still considered like worship, or I can lead it on some, that kind of thing. And so that definitely was like a moment where I felt super inspired. And then I talked about like the reason I said earlier I wasn't allowed to listen to secular, because I remember grabbing a hold. I can't even remember how I got it, but first one of these is going to be very stereotypical Christian artist, dude. There were 2 albums I got a hold of, and that I was like, oh my goodness. And one was U2, Joshua Tree. I got that, and I was like, what?
Yeah, it was a game changer.
Yes. And then Tom Petty, who's my all-time favorite. I got a hold of one of his albums, which it might have been Wildflowers. And when I got those, that was like, oh, wow. Like, then I was like, okay, I just want to be the Tom Petty of worship music.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
That's all I want, so Stephen Curtis like got me into it. Delirious made me feel like it was okay to write in a certain way. And then those other 2 were like, opened my eyes up to what was possible just musically and creatively.
Easily the dumbest question you're going to hear during this album cycle and interviewing. I'm dabbling with comedy and stand-up comedy.
Okay.
When you're trying to write new material, and I feel like I see so many mirrored moments of stand-up comedy and artistry and musician of just, it's time for a new album, it's time for a new song. and
Yeah.
getting up there, or you're getting up there and, here we go, just stand in your love again. And, but they've come to hear that song, Josh. So most ignorant question, you look super comfortable clothing wise on the live album and the pictures. And I've seen you on Instagram. Do you actually put thought into, I got to have my favorite shirt, I got to have my favorite jeans and my favorite boots? Because I've fallen into that pretty quickly of like, I've got to be comfortable.
I love this question, and I love it because I didn't plan this at all.
That shirt looks like it's been to battle and back.
That shirt is on me right now.
Is it?
That shirt. And here's the crazy thing. This is my friend's shirt. It's a comfort color shirt turned inside out.
Oh, wow.
I mean, only you can see this, but it's my friend's writing. So here's the thing. I don't put a ton of thought into it. I mean, I like what I like, and I want to look like me. But I had my buddy Christian, who he's a creative director at Bethel Music, but also just one of my good friends, and he loves fashion and style and just all that. And he's very aware of mine and that I don't care as much, and so he puts a little more thought into it so that I don't have to care. And so he was just like, "Hey, you should wear those jeans and those boots." And I was like, all right. And I was going to go denim on denim. We were doing Canadian tuxedo. That was the plan. Which actually I have a picture. I'm only showing, you're getting all these. So this is what I was going to wear. That's me and my wife. Yeah. But I was going to wear the denim on denim. And the night of the recording, I just threw this shirt on to like go, wear it there. We were going to run through songs. I didn't want to like sweat through my denim shirt. I had it. I tucked it in. I had it, and I turned it inside out just because I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to like have a bunch of writing on my shirt. So I just turned it.
You're not a NASCAR driver.
Yeah, I ripped the tag off and ripped it off here and turned it inside out. And I'm up there practicing, and my drummer Joe was like, "Dude, is that what you're wearing tonight?" And I was like, I thought he was saying it like, "Is that what you're wearing?" Yep. But he was like, "Is that what you're wearing?" And I said, "No, I'm definitely going to change." He was like, "No, don't. That looks cool." And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, it's kind of like you care, but you don't care. And that's kind of a vibe. And I was like, all right. But I mean, I was like, he's young and cool, and I'm old, and I don't want to look like I'm trying hard. And then Jen Johnson, who recorded a couple songs with us, she came in to do her song, and and I thought for sure she would be like, you're not wearing that, right?
Yeah.
And because she's very put together, she looked at me, she's like, are you wearing that? You look great in that. And I was like, are you serious? And so I'm like, well, now I am. So I just wore this, and I had some other, my wife was like, are you wearing that inside out comfort color shirt for your album recording? And I said, yeah. Like, I just feel like who else might as well do it. I'll be the one to do it. And so, yeah, that's about as much thought as I put into it. And so this is literally, I'm wearing it today because this is my bumming shirt. I'm going to go after we're done with this. I've got a truck full of stuff I got to take to the dump, and I have this on because this is what I wear when I do that. But also it's what I wear when I record live albums. So.
There seems to be something, not to over spiritualize it, but just simplifying inside out, the tag is gone. I'm super comfortable, and then yet you got some of your closest people going, hey, you look pretty great. Leave that on.
Yeah.
I
told my friend, because this is a shirt, my buddy Sam McCabe, he's a songwriter, and he sent me this shirt years ago, and it's actually the name of the shirt has one of his song names on it, and the name of the song is I Want to Serve God. And so I do kind of love that it's my shirt's inside out, and on the inside it says I want to serve God. Nobody can see it, but like, it's just like kind of covert,
I like that. Josh, tell me about a song that got away, slipped through the cracks, and you wish it would have gotten a little more attention.
Ooh, that's been released, and I just wish.
Whatever came to your mind just then. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
I will. If I can. I'm trying to think of like if it's been recorded yet, because I don't know that maybe that hasn't. I have a whole album that I want to do that feels like I've been ready to do for like 4 years now, and it keeps slipping away. But songs wise, I mean, Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know quite yet the songs wise. I thought Evidence was going to be that song. I thought it was going to slip through the cracks and nobody was going to. I feel like I had to convince Bethel to like let me throw that one out on the radio, and I was like, this is good. And then I have an album. I'll just talk about that because I think 4 years ago during COVID, I started writing songs that were like still about the Lord, but they definitely had like a singer songwriter front porch, of an old cabin, mountain house kind of vibes, and they're kind of like, okay, if I'm like an old man sitting out on my front porch thinking about my life, what kind of songs would I write? What kind of worship songs would I write to the Lord? They're all kind of that vibe. And I wanted to do like this. I want to do this like very scaled back production, just that kind of thing. And it all kind of based around this one song that I wrote called Full Grown Man, that really just talks about Jesus being like an old soul. And just, it kind of got it from, I was talking to my buddy about his 11-year-old boy, just how I was like, dude, your kid he's such an old soul. And I think I joked around. I said, he's a full grown man at a really young age. My buddy was like, dude, you should write a country song like that. And then I kind of went to that. And then I was like, wait, I feel like this song's about the Lord. Like he was like the oldest soul, like who was, 12 years old teaching in leaders in the synagogue. Like that's a full grown man at a real young age. And so I wrote this whole song about Jesus being that. And so the whole album is that. And I've been waiting. It's just been right here. Just like, okay, this is what I want to do next. But it's kind of, it's a very specific sound and group of songs. And I knew that we've always needed to wait. And there was like, we needed to get the Where the Glory Is album out. And then now it was like, we want to do a live album. So it's the one that like I'm getting scared like it's going to get skipped over and passed over, but I'm not. I'm going to believe that it's going to be the next thing I do. But because I don't know that it will be successful, but it's just really important to me. Like it just feels like I have to do this album. When you said that, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay.
Was that album.
A year and change ago, you and your BFF came to my neck of the woods, and we had a delightful morning together. And you played Narrow Road for us just by yourself on the radio.
I've been walking for a while. My feet are getting tired. My heart's a little heavy, but you keep me going. Been walking for a while, mile after mile. My soul's a little weary, but you keep me going. You keep me going. You said it'd be a narrow road. You said it'd be a narrow road. So why am I surprised when it seems I'm on my own? They said it'd be a narrow road. This world will never be my home. The journey might be lonely, but I'll never be alone. Oh, I'll never be alone.
That's the one I should have said. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I remember it, and I recorded it, and fast forward to, it feels like about a month ago, every Friday morning, I like to hit the new music radar on Spotify on my way in, because I just love new music and I want to hear what people are doing. And about 4 songs into this playlist for me, I start hearing this kid sing this song, and I kind of have a, hang on a minute, and I'm singing along to it immediately, and I'm like, you son of a bee sting. And it's, who's this young unicorn out of Nashville?
Chris Renzema.
Chris Renzema's doing it. I mean, it's a decent version. I'll go with yours. I'm going to lean heavy on the JB version. But that to me is one that I think people should revisit when they get a chance.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's scratch everything I just said about that album. That album's whatever. That's the song. I knew there was one in my head that I really felt passionate about, and it's definitely Narrow Road. And the funny thing is, I wrote that song with Chris Renzema, and I just we wrote it. Yeah, so I wrote it with him and Hank Bentley, and Chris had just released an album, and so he was like, I just put an album out, so I'm not gonna record it. And I was in the middle of recording Where the Glory Is, and so we're like, well, I'll do it. I love this. And so, yeah, so he waited. He was like, you do the first version, then I'll put it out in a year or two. And so, yeah, there was part of me that wanted that to be a radio single really bad. It was fun to do. It was fun to definitely partner with David and do Every Hour. That was very special for a lot of reasons. But my wife is still like, I feel like Mirror Road could have got, it's different. And I was like, I don't know if radio would play it, but it does feel really special. And every night when I get to play it, it's really special.
Just a reminder, us radio folk, we don't know anything. We are lambs to the slaughter. Just give us the song. 2 more questions for you, Joshy, all right?
Yeah, I'm great.
There's a phenomenon, and I've been watching from the sidelines for a long time, and I think I want to get it, but I just don't. I just don't get it. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to go to the source. What is it about golf? I mean, what's the point, man?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It's so funny. I have like all my golf balls of my best rounds like right here, just right here next to me. I've got all this stuff. I've been playing golf, and I will say I've been playing golf since I was a kid, since I was my teens, early teens. But then in my 20s when I lived in North Carolina, I had some friends that I played golf with a lot. But then when I moved to California, I didn't play as much because I didn't have as many friends that played, and I just traveled a lot. Anyway, 2020 came around, everybody's home, we can't do anything, but the golf course near our house in California would open up. I say that in quotes, like they just would have a donation box out next to the first tee, and you just come out there, throw them. Everyone's like, you guys know how much it is to play here, throw them cash in and just tee off, and that way you didn't have to go inside, close doors and all that stuff. And so that's when, and then all of my friends, we all traveled. We were all, traveling around with Bethel Music. So none of us were doing anything. So I played golf 2 or 3 times a week that whole year. And I think that's when it got massive. And then I think since then, everyone just kept doing it. And then you realize on the road, it's like, when you're going out on the road on tour, it's like, bring your clubs, and play in the morning. And it's guilt-free golf. Like you're already gone from your family. You might as well enjoy your morning. Because I do feel like golf now, like I'm playing tomorrow, but it's been on the books for like a while, like a month or two. And like, we're all geared, I'm getting all the things done today and yesterday to be able to do tomorrow and not feel horrible about it because I'm going out and playing golf all day and not working or spending time with my family. But if you do it when you're traveling, you're already gone. So just go out there and enjoy your day. Yeah, I have friends that are very serious about it just because it's like a fun hobby and when they're traveling, but they're not like great or they're not good at it. And then I have friends that are serious about it because they really, really love it and they're good at it. I'm like, yeah, it's like other than music, it's like all I care about. It's I think I don't watch any shows much anymore. I don't watch movies that much. I kind of just I'll watch sports documentaries or documentaries in general, but mostly sports documentaries. But I'll watch YouTube golfers religiously. Like I'm a nut. Like I reach out to them. I'll send them messages. Like people send messages to me on Instagram, like, "Hey guys," and because a lot of them are Christians too, so they've reached out to me too. So I'm like, I'll do whatever I can. I'm like, that's my thing is YouTube golf. If I could quit music today and know that like, I could go and like play golf every day and film it and put it on YouTube and make a living, it'd be tough. It'd definitely be like a lot of like prayers, like, Lord, okay, is this what I, yeah, I don't know. It's relaxing and it's something you can never master. So I think it's a goal. It's, continually trying to like get better at something that you're probably not going to get better at. Well, there's something fun about that to me.
I was doing a little bit of detective work. I'm looking at your Instagram, and I have a question about your March 14th post. You and your BFF are sitting in what appears to be a candy apple red Porsche.
Yes.
Is that yours?
Oh gosh, no, it's not mine. It's not David's either. It's right now David is actually having his new studio like remodeled and fixed up. And while he's there, he's kind of sharing like a little office with some friends of ours who are in like financial investors and stuff. And that's his Porsche. And we were shooting, some promo videos for our new tour. And David's like, dude, we should just go sit in Carl's Porsche. And I was like, David, that is, first of all, that's not on brand for either one of us. Like if it was a pickup truck, I'd be like,
yes.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. But he was like, that's why it's funny. And then I was like, I don't want to, are people going to think like, oh, those two rich, worship leader guys with their Porsche and their tour. And he was like, no, that's why it's funny. So I caved in and we did it. And, I think you can edit it and put some goofy music with it. And people, they understand that it's joking around. But yeah, that was all David's idea. And I just went along for the ride and it worked out. But.
I want to tell you how the morning unfolded. I saw that video and I was like, wow. And in my mind, I was like, I think these guys are doing pretty well, so this makes sense. So I literally type your name into Google and some stuff comes up. I scroll down and the number one question that is asked about Josh Baldwin, according to my internet, is Josh Baldwin related to Alec Baldwin?
Yes, that's so funny.
And I'm like, not. I said, I didn't even put those two together, but right underneath it was Josh Baldwin net worth. And I thought, okay, here we go. And the car is going to pop up when I hit it. So I'm glad we got that cleared up.
It's whatever it said. I'm nowhere near that. That's the funny thing you asked is that my nephew, they have Alexa in his room, and you can ask Alexa questions. And it's my wife's sister and her son. And my wife said her sister will like check. She can check and see what the kids are asking Alexa. And they think that like Uncle Josh is like so famous. Like I'm just like so famous. Like, and they don't realize it's just like, I'm like B-level Christian famous. People might recognize me at their church or at their Chick-fil-A, and that's about it. And but one of the questions that he's asking Alexa is what's Josh Baldwin's net worth? And I'm like, listen, it's nowhere near your dad's. I'll tell you that right now. Like, your dad's doing way better than I am in real estate, son.
The new live album is called Made for More. You'll find it on Spotify under Uncle Josh Baldwin. It's good stuff. You got a tour coming up with your BFF as well. You can find that on Josh's website. And you doing okay? Everything else okay, my man?
Everything's good. It's a good season here at the Baldwin house, and spring's coming, or it's here. It's kind of upon us. So, yeah, we're doing really good. Loving Tennessee.
Josh, we've hit our time. In fact, I stole 6 extra minutes, so thank you for that.
Let's go. Listen, that was a pleasure. I loved this. My favorite interview, period.
I love Josh Baldwin. I couldn't wait to talk to you. And I got the album in the mail from Clyde, I'm guessing, with the nice signature. So thank you.
Thank you. I signed those downstairs on my kitchen table.
I mean, I like it so much. I kind of want to keep it sealed, but then I saw that it might be an orange vinyl, and I'm like, oh, man, I got to open that.
It is. The guys did so great with the artwork and stuff. I was blown away.
I love it.
And my old T-shirt there. So.
That you have on now.
I love that.
Such
that
marketing.
I'm wearing. As you were asking that, I was like thinking, oh my gosh, I'm wearing the shirt. Like, and I did not think about that at all. It's so funny.
All right, Josh, thank you very much.
All right, thanks so much, Corey.
I appreciate it, buddy. Good to see you, and tell all the pals I said hello, okay?
I will.
Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you ever want to reach out and say hello, you can email me whatelsewithcoreymann@gmail.com.
What Else with Corey Mann, with your host, Corey Mann. Original music and theme song by Chris Cron. Share this episode with a friend, and thanks for listening.